Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from Estadio Azteca here in Mexico City, Mexico. We are saying hola to you. It's Baltimore and Mexico City in Week 2 of Simulation Football League action. Andy Hamilton along with Stephen Mullinex and Rochelle Colston on stats. Stephen, ¿cómo estás?
Hey, muy bien, Andy. Thank you. Yes, so while in Rome, right? Here we are in Mexico City, and we're going to get a chance to see here on a Tuesday night two legendary SFL teams go head-to-head. I can't wait for it. SFL action in prime time.
Well, when looking at these two teams this season, both scored over 30 points in their openers, winning, both improving to 1-0 in their third all-time matchup. These two teams, one of them is going to improve to 2-0. The other one is going to fall to 1-1. Quite the game ahead for you here. Baltimore and Mexico City. There's a look at Mike Dazzo. He is going to take on Matt Wilson and the Mexico City Aztecs, two elite quarterbacks as well going at it, Steve.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these guys under center, they're veterans. They are also very efficient. Matt Wilson, season 13 MVP, is going to be trying to put on a show at home tonight.
Both had 2 touchdowns in their opening Week 1 games. Baltimore defeated the Seattle Tyrants. Mexico City beat the Las Vegas Fury. Both were at home. Now Baltimore on the road will start with the ball. Cole Varner has it teed up, and we are underway here from Mexico City. Return will be brought out of the end zone across the 10 by Giovanni Bolt. Bolt out to the 20, and right around the 22 is where Baltimore's offense will come out. Let's take you through this Baltimore offensive unit. Mike Dazzo leads the way at quarterback. T. Roy Gaines is the halfback. Ivory Irvin, along with Daley Holder and Mac Chima, are the wide receivers. And the tight end, Lloyd Graham Jr., rounds out this Vultures offense. They will start 1st and 10 with a 2 tight end set. And they will throw. Dazzo looking, going to float a corner route, and it is defended well on the outside by Han Tayumi.
Yeah, and that's a kind of a chance taken there on that first opportunity. Going towards Tayumi, one of the best cornerbacks in the SFL, actually had the 4th most pass defends last season with 15. Add another one for this season.
Mexico City going to line up in a 3-4 defense. Another 2 tight end set out of this Baltimore Vultures team. And they will hand off to Gaines. Gaines able to fight through one. Gaines with some room onto this near side of the 45 and to the 50. He's going to get down to the Mexico City 47, moving the chains and picking up a first down.
Well, give that credit to Gaines entirely. That he was met in the backfield by a defender, but he used that 6'2", 240-pound frame to push through the defender, ground him, and get all that yardage.
T. Roy Gaines last week only averaged 3.7 yards per carry on 19 totes, but on his first carry tonight, he has a big first down for the Vultures. A third 2 tight end set. Stephen, we are seeing some consistency here from Baltimore's offense. They will dump it out to T. Roy Gaines, who will get crushed in the backfield. What a play for the Mexico City defense.
Yeah, just excellent job by these Mexico City defenders. That pursuit angle was perfect. They were in the backfield, at least multiple red jerseys in the backfield before Gaines even caught that ball.
Tyler Kane was the guy in the backfield to make the big hit on Gaines. That'll make it 2nd and 13 from midfield. Dazzo with a 7-step drop's going to heave this one deep. That one is caught. Daley Holder all the way down to the Mexico City 22.
And I'm not exactly sure what Mexico City was doing there in the secondary. There were multiple receivers opened out there, and really Dazzo, it was just a matter of just like a buffet. He could have picked any of them, found Daley for the huge game.
Dazzo completed 75% of his passes last week, and he is looking to keep that number up tonight. Handoff Gaines right up the middle. T. Roy Gaines is able to get 5.
And you talked a little bit about Dazzo. He actually led the SFL last season with a completion percentage of 77.2. Just really impressive, really efficient. That doesn't mean that he doesn't turn the ball over. 21 touchdowns, 20 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions last week in their win over Seattle.
Perfect tonight, 1 for 1 with the 28-yard completion. And they are going to go 3 wide here on 2nd and 5. Offset to the right. Dazzo fires. That's a completion to Irvin on the outside, and Ivory Irvin has the first down to the 4-yard line. This Baltimore offense is humming.
Well, you talked about Irvin there, week 2 signing, a rookie free agent, and Mexico City just showing way too much respect. A big cushion there, able to connect with him on that short out route for big yardage.
Mike Improda in the chat reminding us that this is a power ranking game. The number 1 and 3 teams in the power rankings represented. Out route there. Irvin taps the toes. They gave him 2 yards there. Nice catch.
Yeah, it didn't look like he earned those 2 yards either. That pass thrown behind him. Likely Dazzo, seeing the coverage, pressing up on him, wanted to get it away from there just to make sure there wasn't a turnover. But yeah, the quarterback did the receiver no favors there for sure.
2nd and goal from the 2, and with a power back like T. Roy Gaines, you got to imagine that they're at least going to give him the ball 1 time here on the goal line. They will line up with 2 tight ends. There's the handoff to Gaines. Gaines stood up and stonewalled at the 1.
Yeah, really did a great job there. Mexico City in the middle of that defensive line. Orion Taylor there, able to stuff that running lane and really giving Gaines nowhere to go.
Nick Daggs as well in on the tackle. He had a tackle for loss and 3 total tackles last week. And they're going to try and stop Baltimore here on 3rd and goal. Flip out to Gaines. Gaines has the catch, but he is stopped again. What a play from the Mexico City defense. They're able to get the stand. Fran Ogawa led the way.
Yeah, and you've just felt like, the way Gaines started this game off, really crushing that first defender on his long run, that Gaines had some momentum here, but Mexico City has stepped up to the challenge. What a great 3rd down stop.
T. Roy Gaines had 14 catches last week, 3.5 yards per reception, and he could not get a yard there on the goal line, and Baltimore will send out Shark Tarkington to make it 3-0 from 17 yards. The Vultures able to go up on top. And with the Vultures lead, they will set up to kick it back to the Mexico City Aztecs. And what a first drive from them. Really impressive, Steven, the way they went down the field.
Yeah, you have to be, actually, I think both sides come away with a positive on that drive. Baltimore able to drive down the field through both the pass and the running game. And Mexico City to get that stop near the goal line, that's just 2 positives there.
Mexico City offense for you, led by Matt Wilson, Ray Bentley, the running back, Phoenix Jones, the rookie fullback, along with Joe Clark Jr., Richard Montague, and K.L. Barrett round out the receivers. Mike Daggs is the tight end, never forget about the tight end, and Cole Varner, the star kicker, and the star of last week's game for the Aztecs, had a really solid game for them, and they're looking for a big one out of him. Offsides will be a free play for Wilson. Wilson stands in the pocket, going to take a shot, nearly picked off. It wouldn't have mattered, though.
Yeah, you talk about free play. You have to figure Wilson was looking for something deep, had the deep out there, and luckily bailed out 2 ways. The defender dropped the ball and this infraction.
Yeah, they are going to get 5 yards there. Matt Wilson last week out there against the Las Vegas Fury. 69% completion percentage, 296 yards, 2 touchdowns to only 1 interception. Steven had a really good outing.
Yeah, and you wouldn't expect anything less from the season 13 MVP. This Mexico City offense last year bolstered both the season MVP and the offensive player of the year in Ray Bentley. So this is a dynamic offense, and they're showing the way here with that big win in week 1.
Ray Bentley, just his 10th carry of the season, able to pick up 3 yards there. He was a little bit underutilized, but this Baltimore defense got to him quick. It's led by Kaz McFly in the secondary, along with Tony Willis, Giovanni Bolt, and Hendricks Thornberry, and Marvin Himes round out that secondary. Amon Takes and Joe Dazzo are your linebackers. And then up front, Tucker Lewis, Cyron Yates IV, and Chad Rowland. Matt Wilson fires, caught. Richard Montague, the first down to the 41-yard line. That's about as smooth as it gets.
Yeah, and you know what? Those slant routes, they really negate the pass rush. So anything that Baltimore is bringing, Matt Wilson, just a savvy veteran, so to get the ball out of his hands quickly. And that just speaks to the offensive game plan that owner Ramos Land has put together.
Richard Montague was the leading receiver for Mexico City in week one, 104 yards for this Aztec team, but could not find the end zone. Those 2 touchdown receptions were by the 2 backs in the backfield. Wilson to throw on first down, fires outside. No, dropped. Montague had it on the sidelines and just couldn't hold on. And oh no, that's not good.
Yeah, you mentioned he wasn't able to get into the end zone this last week, but he actually led the team in receiving touchdowns for receivers with 10. So an injury to him being taken out of the game at this point could be devastating for Mexico.
Yeah, they do have a 3rd-star receiver, so Joe Clark Jr. looks to be the man to step up into that spot, number 17. If Montague can't go, they'll have to check on him. A 7-year veteran, him and K.L. Barrett came in the league at the same time, have been doing it ever since. Shotgun look here for Wilson on 2nd and 10. Going to throw right away. Out route there is wide open for Mike Daggs. He turns the corner and has the first down to the 39. What a beautiful route.
And what a beautiful play call, getting Mike Daggs wide open there on the out route. I mean, there was nobody even near him. You know, me and Daggs, as their offensive coordinator last year, we had a lot of fun. But the truth is, Daggs recorded a career-high 67 receptions last year, and he has yet to thank me for that.
Frank Smith on the tackle, new signing for Baltimore, actually lives in Atlanta. And Steven, we heard from a little bird that he has a watch party going on, so shout out to Frank Smith there. First tackle of a new career.
Welcome.
For Wilson here, handoff to Ray Bentley. Oh, crushed in the backfield. What a hit from Kaz McFly.
Well, there's something you don't see every day, Andy, a handoff in the shotgun position, and that's probably the reason why. It just takes a lot to generate speed from that position and try to find a hole in the backfield, and they're crushed at the line of scrimmage.
Ray Bentley only has 5 pounds on Kaz McFly, so McFly able to lay the shoulder on him. Another handoff to Bentley with room. Bentley, spin move, gets through Kaz McFly that time, and he's down to the 19. What a carry from Ray Bentley.
Well, you know you can only cage the altered beast for so long, and this guy here, just a legend, Hall of Famer, inducted just last year, and it was such a pleasure to coach him in this Aztecs offense, and it was just a luxury to have him back there, and I know Raymondson loves him.
Only had 9 carries in his first game. This time they'll give it to Phoenix Jones. Jones right up the middle, able to pick up an easy 5 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 5. They spelled Ray Bentley last week with Phoenix Jones. Jones actually out-toted Bentley with 12 carries for 31 yards, but Bentley had the yardage to boot.
Yeah, the 16th overall pick in the draft in the first round. Actually did have a receiving touchdown. Maybe they'll call his number here.
Wilson to fire, pressure, dropped. First sack of the year on Mexico City, and it's going to be Albert Butler, the defensive tackle for Baltimore, who got there.
Well, this is just about that motor that never ends, right? That never stops. He just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing, and Wilson just holding the ball just a little bit too long. You might want to call that a coverage sack.
It'll bring up 3rd and 10 at the 20. 3:55 to go here in the first quarter. Both teams putting together very long opening drives. Now 4 wide for Wilson in the shotgun. Daggs on the top of the line at tight end. He will throw. It's a 90 all slants. Floats one. Dropped. In and out of the hands of the receiver. Could not haul it in. Mac Gibbs makes the drop, and it's 4th down.
And that's the danger of that particular play call. You're putting players on the field that are coming off the bench, not as warmed up as the others, and they're asked to make a big play, and a big conversion on 3rd down drops the ball.
That will send in Cole Varner, who is going to put the boot to this one. Varner had a pretty good opening game, 3 for 3, and he will put the kick to this one, 4 for 4 on the season, and we're all knotted up at 3. What a kick it was.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you there. Yeah, actually, Varner, 22 of 22 last season, didn't miss a single kick during the regular season.
It's knotted up at 3, Baltimore and Mexico City. When we return, it's the Simulation Football League. Well, after the Cole Varner field goal, Mexico City adds 3 points to tie it up. We are going back and forth in this one here in Mexico City. Giovanni Bolt will bring this one out of the end zone again, and he is stopped at around the 22. That's just as far as he got last time. Let's take a look at this Baltimore offense. T. Roy Gaines leads the way at halfback.
Yeah, and we've seen the
Dazzo
power.
in his 9th season at quarterback. Bishop Warfield, Daley Holder, and Mac Chima are the receivers. Lloyd Graham Jr., the tight end, and Shark Tarkington, who made the field goal earlier. Tarkington and Varner playing a game between each other to start this one off. 2 receivers out for Dazzo. Short drop, out route is caught by Irvin. Irvin turns up field, and they're going to mark him short.
Yeah, nearly had it. We've seen some significant yardage here gained by Irvin on those little out routes, and it's just his ability to turn upfield, get those yards after catch, and they've been taking full advantage of what Mexico City's been giving them.
Ray Bentley enters the chat. We say hello to him and many others viewing on twitch.tv/FTF next. T. Roy Gaines out to the 39. Wow, that run looked like it had some potential.
Yeah, and it's just the versatility of Gaines is what's so surprising. Such a big, powerful looking back, but has the speed to go to the outside and to make those catches as well that we talked about. So, yeah, just a versatile tool for this offense on top of having a legend like Dazzo under center.
Yeah, T. Roy Gaines, 240 pounds. The linebackers for Mexico City are only 5 pounds heavier than the halfback. They'll give it to Gaines again. Stood up, and wow, big tackle there from Fran Ogawa, who's 6'4", 205, 40 pounds less than Gaines. Ogawa with Zamora, Julio Diggs, Han Tayumi, and Jeffrey Daggs round out this Mexico City secondary. Dexter Jackson and Nick Daggs are the linebackers. And on the defensive line, Brock Lee and Orion Taylor didn't have a sack last week, trying to get on the board this week against Daggs, both rookie draft picks for this Mexico City team. Dazzo, short drop, quick throw. Wow, somehow puts it in the window, and it's caught by Daley Holder.
Yeah, just excellent ball placement there by Dazzo. As you said, in a sea of red, able to find, actually had 2 receivers in the area, which is always dangerous because it just adds more defenders to that area. But the laser throw by Dazzo negates the coverage.
3-4 look out of Mexico City. Strong eye Jokers formation. They'll flip it out to Gaines on a screen. Gaines through the first man, cannot get past the second. Only a 3-yard pickup as the Aztecs rally to the ball.
And now we find out that Montague's going to be out with a shoulder injury for this game. So that changes the dynamic of what Mexico City has to do on offense. Surely going to be relying on this Aztecs defense to try and put a stop to what has been a pretty unstoppable offensive effort here by Baltimore.
Potentially more catches for Daggs, Barrett, and the other receivers on the Aztecs. There is a nice reception across the middle by Mac Chima, and Dazzo tonight, 8 of 9.
Well, again, we see this all slants play out of the shotgun, and where Mexico City failed to convert, we see Chima come away with the ball right down the middle of the field. And what it really does, it just puts the secondary on its heels and makes an open target on one of those receivers, at least for Dazzo.
3-3 as we wind down here in the first quarter from Mexico City. 3-3 look out of the Aztecs. Handoff T. Roy Gaines. Gaines trying to get to the outside. Gaines through one, and then demolished by Jeffrey Daggs. He flexed on him, and Gaines is a little slow getting up.
Yeah, but I tell you what an advantage for an SFL running back if you can break that first initial tackle. If you're able to break at least one tackle on every carry, you're gaining a lot of yardage. Probably going to have a 100-yard game. That's what Gaines looks like he's in tune for tonight.
Strong eye, wide receiver tight to the formation here. They will throw. A little dump out to Gaines. Gaines trying to get through the first. Has a block. Gaines to the corner. Gaines to the end zone. Touchdown, Baltimore.
We'll give a lot of credit to the tackle, number 67, Ted McClintock. He got out there in front of Gaines, and look at this wonderful block. Actually blocks him again out of bounds right there. A little extra effort to make sure his man gets into the end zone.
T. Roy Gaines finding the end zone via the air, and that will be the first touchdown of the game. Gaines last week actually got in the end zone via the air and the ground, so he's halfway to completing the double of what he did last week. Shark Tarkington's kick is up and good. It is 10-3, Baltimore on top of the Aztecs on the road. The Vultures drive down the field and score, and we will be right back. It's the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports. Back in Mexico City, Baltimore on top 10-3, and they will kick. Jeffrey Daggs from his own goal line will bring the return out across the 20 to the 23. Well, it was a T. Roy Gaines reception that put them in the end zone in terms of last season. Gaines and Bentley down there at 4 and 5, but Ray Bentley 11 receiving touchdowns last season.
Yeah, and that was an SFL record 11. No running back had ever had that many touchdowns before Ray Bentley through the air. So look for that to be certainly a part of this Aztecs game plan.
Bentley had 9.5 yards per reception last week. They give to Bentley, and he is able to pick up 7. And he kind of bounced all over the place, Steven, but it was smooth while he was doing it.
Yeah, and Bentley's really changed his style. When he first came in the league, really no more as a power back, but he's transitioned to more finesse now. And so you're going to see him do a lot more of those spin moves and cutbacks in order to try and get open. You know, probably wise as he continues to age during his career.
Shotgun look here for Wilson. They will give to Bentley with Phoenix Jones in front of him, and Bentley has the first down to the 35.
Yeah, and again, one of those out of the shotgun running plays that are kind of really rare here in the SFL, but we see the boom and bust of it. We saw it get stopped at the line of scrimmage earlier. Here, it's successful for a first down conversion.
It will set them up 2 in the backfield. They will give to Phoenix Jones right up the gut. Phoenix Jones, nice carry for a first down to the 45. It didn't look like he was going to get there. Not the quickest back we've ever seen, but boy, he got there.
Well, there's a reason why all these fullbacks went in the draft, right? One of the biggest storylines from the draft was the amount of fullbacks that were actually drafted. And we're seeing, I think, Mexico City use the fullback and a couple other franchises in rare form. And you're seeing why he actually got more carries than Bentley in week 1.
You hit the nail on the head. Plenty of fullbacks taken. Mixed results so far. Jones finding the end zone last week via the air. Had a good carry there to set him up here at the 45 with 9:25 to go here in the second quarter. Bentley left alone on that carry from the shotgun, only able to pick up a yard. Yeah,
and it actually was Tony Willis, number 31, the strong safety that was coming in on a blitz. that was able to chase him down. And Tony Willis, boy, used to play for the Alaska Storm, a champion. What a great defender.
Wilson going to take a shot deep, in and out of the hands of the receiver, was trying to hit Mike Daggs across the middle, and I guess, Steven, maybe that's why you don't throw it to the tight end.
Well, you know what? In this situation, you probably want to go to your big tight end target, especially with Richard Montague out of this game. 6'7", 265. Mike Daggs should be able to come down with that, but just a great play by the defender. Tony Willis, again, making his name known there in the Baltimore secondary.
And it'll bring up a 3rd and 9. Mexico City behind the chains here, as well as, if you're just tuning in, without Richard Montague, one of their star receivers, out with a shoulder injury. 4 wide here. Baltimore looks like they're playing press man coverage, maybe a bump. The Aztecs fire, and Mike Daggs has the first down to the 43. They ran an all slants there. These two teams are trading plays.
And, you know, that's why so many teams love that all slant, specifically in this formation, which is called a gun straight. The reason is because it puts your tight end right in the center of the field, usually with one-on-one coverage with the linebacker, which is what you want, those mismatches, and we see the result.
3 receivers wide now. Bentley, the lone back in the backfield. They haven't been afraid of giving him the ball out of some weird formations. They give it to him there, and he is stood up and dropped. Joe Dazzo on the scene.
And you know what? Although Mexico City's driving the ball down the field, it's really methodical, but it's really slow too. And you have a feeling that this Baltimore defense is just itching to make a play on the ball and extending these offensive plays. It takes time off the clock, yes, but it gives more opportunity for mistakes as well.
Absolutely. This looks like it could be one of those games that comes down to whoever has the ball last. Hand off to Ray Bentley. Bentley able to pick up 3 or 4 more. 3rd and 7. Again, Mexico City finds themselves behind the chains.
And I wouldn't be surprised if that all slants play comes up again. It's just such a reliable play on 3rd down and converts at a really high percentage. Looks like that's what they might be doing.
Wow, I tell you what, Steven, you might be able to call this one depending on how the 4 are wide. Baltimore, another press man situation, another 90 all slants. They throw to Daggs, but he can't haul that one in. Talk about reliable, Steven.
Well, you know what? I think that was really more on the throw of Wilson, which way too out in front of your tight end, trying to lead him a little bit, actually leading him into coverage. You'd like to see him throw it up in the air a little bit more, but Wilson may be a little gun shy to do that with Daggs, as the last time Daggs actually jumped for the ball, he dropped
it. They will not send Cole Varner out. From here, it would be a 56-yard field goal attempt. He hit last week from 51. Guess he doesn't have the extra 5 yards in that leg. They will signal for a fair catch down at the 13. And Baltimore, with a 7-point lead, gets the ball back. It's 10-3. It's the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and for the fans. Back here in Mexico City, Mexico, the Baltimore Vultures on top of the Mexico City Aztecs. Simulation Football League Week 2 action. Both teams 1-0, both top 5 in the power rankings, and both going at it here tonight. T-Roy gains a 6-yard carry, and last time these two teams came out onto the field and took each other on, Steven, it was Baltimore who came out on top.
Yeah, and it wasn't as close as the score indicates. I mean, Baltimore really came out in this in week 1 and absolutely took it to Mexico City. It's nice to have an opportunity here for the Aztecs to maybe get a little revenge.
Series tied at 2-2. Winner tonight will take the series lead. Nice catch there by Lloyd Graham Jr. One hand.
Yeah, and you're talking about in Graham Jr., one of the best tight ends in the league, and he shows you why right there. Just a big, tall target with excellent hands, and a guy that probably could also play outside wide receiver if he wanted to.
Dazzo already up over 100 yards tonight. They will give to Gaines. Gaines stood up and dropped. Nice job by the Mexico City defense to get there in a hurry. Dexter Jackson in on the tackle along with Moises Avila.
Well, anytime Baltimore has gone down the middle, it seems like Mexico City has been really good at stuffing the run, and Gaines has actually found more success on the outside and as a receiver.
He caught the touchdown earlier to give them this 7-point lead. They're trying to protect it. Quick throw. Wow. What a toss by Mike Dazzo right past the outstretched arm of Jeffrey Daggs.
Well, Andy, this is all about the veteran under center in Mike Dazzo. Has the stones to stay tough in the pocket amidst all that traffic around him and able to deliver a crisp, clean ball to his newest addition.
128 yards and 1 passing touchdown tonight for Mike Dazzo here. 5.5 minutes to go in the second. Give to Daggs, and nothing doing up the middle. Mexico City there again in a hurry. Tony Stack with the tackle.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Mexico City is doing right there in the center of that defensive line. They're stacking things up, ready for the hoss of Gaines to come through the middle. They're just waiting for him. I wonder if Baltimore might change their strategy here at halftime.
Strong eye pro formation. Dazzo gonna float one on the corner route, tipped away and incomplete. Was trying to float it, and Pablo Zamora said, "No, sir, you are not finding Daily Holder today."
Yeah, if Dazzle holds onto this ball for maybe a millisecond longer, Holder is able to get that separation that they were looking for, but just a great individual effort. That's why these cornerbacks get paid so much here in the SFL for those kind of situations, that one-on-one coverage with one of the top wide receivers here in the league.
4 wide. This is the same formation Mexico City throws the 90-all slants out of. Let's see what Dazzo does out of the shotgun. 90-all slants, quick throw, and it's to the tight end, believe it or not. Only good for 4, though. Mexico City does a good job of rallying to the tackle in order to stop him short of the line to gain. Ulysses Mora makes it 4th and 5.
And you'll often see SFL quarterbacks hold the ball a little bit longer situation because it's just 10 yards to gain to the first down marker. But I really feel Dazzo felt the pressure, had to let go of that ball earlier than he wanted to, and as a result, they're short of the first down.
Baltimore will punt it away. Low snap, almost blocked. Mexico City brought the pressure, could not get to him. Return here for Jeffrey Daggs, only out to the 18. So Mexico City gets the ball back here, down by 7 still. The defense holds. We will return to Mexico City, Mexico after a short break. It's the Simulation Football League. Back here in Mexico City, taking a look at Ray Bentley's numbers for the night. Over 4 yards a carry, keeping Mexico City on pace. Single right pro. Wilson gonna float one, caught down the field. It's a nice catch for K.L. Barrett. He has to make some adjustments with Montague out, but he makes the catch.
Yeah, and K.L. Barrett, not known as a speedster, but here able to outrun 2 Baltimore defenders to make a wide open window for Wilson to throw the ball to. Exactly what you need here to try and make up for the loss of Montague, your number 1 wide receiver.
Working on Willis and Thornberry, both veterans in the Simulation Football League, both in their 4th year here in Baltimore. Tony Willis's 9th year overall in the league. 3 receivers wide here for Matt Wilson. They will give to Bentley up the gut. Bentley able to fall forward for 5, and I say fall forward because he pretty much was tackled after 2 or 3.
Yeah, and that's why some of these SFL franchises invest in tall running backs, because they like that extra lean. They figure those extra few inches could mean the difference between a first down and a 4th down.
Yeah, 2nd and 5 in front of the chains here from the 44. Handoff to Ray Bentley. Bentley able to lean forward for another 2. It'll bring up 3rd and 3 from the 46.
And really a great hole created by the offensive line. And Bentley had all day to run through it, but Amon Takes, one of the best linebackers here in the SFL in his 4th season, really got on top of Bentley quick to make that a minimal gain.
Yeah, Amon takes 6 tackles in the opening week, 1 for a loss. Wilson to throw on 3rd down, wants it all into double coverage, and he's lucky that one didn't get picked off.
Yeah, and you wonder after seeing that, why would Wilson make that kind of a throw in double coverage, especially when it's not Montague out there. It's Joe Clark Jr., really trusting that the speedster Clark Jr. is able to outrun the 2 like Barrett did earlier in this series.
Well, when you only need 3 yards, Steven, you would imagine that they would go for maybe a 5 or a 6 yard route instead of taking a 17-yard shot. They will kick away here to Bolt. Bolt will fair catch at the 25. A little bit of a short kick, and that's where Baltimore will take over on offense.
But I think I understand the Aztecs thinking. I don't think you beat a team like Baltimore that went 10-2 last season by playing conservative. Even though you're playing at home, you need to take the chances when you see an opportunity. Matt Wilson, again, a veteran in this league, not afraid to take those chances.
Baltimore back out here on the offensive side. Will start in an I formation. T-Roy Gaines, 11 attempts tonight. They will throw, though, and it is out of bounds. Irvin could not keep the feet in bounds.
Yeah, Irvin, and actually momentum just took him out of the bounds. Ball led him out of bounds, so just kind of a negated play. But luckily for them, that was on 1st down. He's still got 2 downs to go here to try to go for the 1st.
Dazzo over 150 yards tonight, averaging about 11.7 yards per attempt. A QBR nearly perfect. Only dropped 2 passes now. Handoff to the fullback right up the middle. Baltimore getting creative with it. Teddy Mitchell able to pick up 7.
Baltimore must be seeing the success the fullbacks are having around the league and trying to implement great success here, cutting that now a 3rd down and 3, so cutting that down from 2nd and 10 by 7 yards.
A little bit more manageable. They're not going to put the fullback in the backfield with T-Roy Gaines this time. It's going to be a bunch formation. Dazzo going to throw, wants the out route, caught it, has the 1st down. Daly Holder out to the 37 before Han Tayumi can bring him down.
And that's exactly why you have the trips formation there to the left. Try to confuse the secondary about who's open.
2 minutes to go here in the first half. It's 10-3. Baltimore on top of the Mexico City Aztecs. We'll be right back here from Mexico City. Baltimore taking over here in Mexico City. 4 receivers wide for Mike Dazzo. 3-2 out of the Mexico City Aztecs here with 2 minutes to play here before the halftime break. Dazzo fires outside, caught by Holder, stayed in bounds, able to pick up 9, and Dazzo, what a throw.
Yeah, and he calling that out route. That was an audible out there on that all plants play. But we take a look at the stats here. Veteran passers there in week 1. Both of these veteran quarterbacks throwing for nearly 300 yards, 2 touchdowns each. Just showing why they're 2 of the best this league has to offer.
Both at or around 70% on the completion percentage. Both top 7 in passing yards. Out route here to Irvin. Irvin stays in bounds that time, drives a man to the ground, and then runs out of bounds at the 45.
Well, we talked about Irvin being a week 2 signing, but you get the feeling he's just getting stronger and stronger as the game progresses, gaining some confidence. Irvin played football for the University of Memphis, then served in the U.S. Navy before signing here in the SFL. So a great story to follow behind some great early play.
And any of you who are watching at home can join the Simulation Football League and write your story. Hand off to T. Roy Gaines. He's going to pick up 5, and now Baltimore's going to go hurry up as the time rolls.
Yeah, on the edge of field goal range as well.
Shark Tarkington, a perfect 1-for-1 tonight. 2 receivers wide for Dazzo. Short drop wide open on the outside is Daly Holder. He cannot beat the one man he needed to, but he's down to the 20.
Yeah, some confusion there in the Mexico City secondary. It looked as if Fran Ogawa, the cornerback, thought he had help there in the backfield, and his safety was just too far away from Holder and left him wide open. That's an absolute mistake by this Mexico City defense.
Really a tough decision there for Ogawa on the outside. He had to either guard T. Roy Gaines or Daly Holder. He chose to guard Gaines in the flats and ended up letting the big play go over his head. 65 seconds here in the half. They will flip it out to Gaines. Gaines demolished on the outside, only gets 2.
Well, let me tell you what, these cornerbacks for Mexico City, for as good as they are in pass coverage, might be better as run defenders. These guys are absolute monsters when it comes to making tackles, as we just saw on a guy that's really hard to break down there in T. Roy Gaines.
That play only accounted for 3 seconds off the clock, so still plenty of time for Baltimore. They do as well have all 3 timeouts. Shotgun look for Dazzo, 3 receivers wide. He's going to throw, fires to this near side, caught, and that baby's going in the crib. It's a touchdown by Mac Chima, and Baltimore extends the lead.
Wow, just Chima really doing an excellent job as a rookie, finding the soft area in that zone in between 2 defenders. And I thought there that it was just an opportunity maybe for Hantiome to make a play. Didn't make that play, and Chima just simply using his size to get to pay dirt.
Shark Tarkington out to make it a 14-point lead for Baltimore. They've come on the road. They've strung together a couple really good drives, and this Mexico City team kind of reeling is going to have to put together quite the effort. Now down by 14. It's 17-3 Baltimore on top.
Well, we mentioned so far this week, every home team has won here in week 2. This is starting to look like the exception, 17-3. Really, Baltimore putting a statement here on the Aztecs in their own home stadium. Mexico City's going to have to find something different here at halftime to get them going.
Mexico City only scored 13 points in the second half of last week's game. Got crushed there on the return. That was Mac Gibbs out there returning instead of one of the stars for Mexico City, and he paid the price there at the 18.
Yeah, Joe Clark Jr. is normally their returner, but the injury to Montague has shifted Clark Jr. into a starting role, and they put Mac Gibbs, the reserve, out there on those returns.
So they will start 2 yards behind if they would have taken a knee on the ground. They are going to give it to Bentley on first down, and Mexico City just going to take this one to the half instead of trying to push down the field.
Yeah, it's probably going to be an unpopular decision with their fans as they have 3 timeouts left and nearly a minute left, but you've got to also think They cannot afford to turn the ball over on this side of the field, resulting in a pick six or a field goal. It just would really put this game out of reach early.
Shotgun look. And Matt Wilson, will throw to this near side, and that is out of bounds. That stops the clock on 3rd and 8.
Yeah, again, I'd not, they were just going for a small little out route there. I'm not sure why you just wouldn't run the running back and run this clock out and go into halftime, lick your wounds, and try to figure out how to get back into this game. But not for me to question the logic here of a team that went 9-3 last season.
4 wide with a bump formation. We've seen them run 90 all slants out of this a couple of times. They'll try it again. Catch is made. First down to Mike Daggs. What a catch at the 28, and that should take us to the half.
And just more proof that play does what it's designed to do a majority of the time, which is to get that tight end wide open in the middle of the field.
They're going to line up here. They will not get the snap off. It'll be a 14-point difference here going into the half. The home team, Mexico City Aztecs, down at the break to the visiting Baltimore Vultures. Stephen, Baltimore came in hot and ready, and they just have been taking it to Mexico City, and the injury to Richard Montague doesn't help.
Yeah, we take a look here at some of the halftime stats. They're certainly exceeding the Aztecs there in the passing game. The running game is about the same, but look, I think what the Vultures are proving here is the fact that their 33-6 blowout of Seattle in Week 1, a team that went to the championship game, was no fluke. And they're coming here into Mexico City and really establishing their identity, which is to run the ball effectively, pass the ball effectively, and then play stellar defense, allowing a high-powered Mexico City offense, that scored 37 points in Week 1, limiting them to just 3 points here in the first half.
Plenty of action on the field, plenty of action off the field as well. Twitch.tv/FTF next. We have the chat going. Colin Northrup in the chat saying hello. Hello to you, Colin. I hope your night is going well. Plenty of other people in the chat. Shacker3, that's Stephen Hacker. Brian Craven, Fire Dog, Mike Improda, Minced Mind, all Frank for real. Plenty of real people who are enjoying this game. And if you are just stumbling upon us and wondering what the heck you are watching, this is the Simulation Football League, the world's first controllerless esport where we take you from couch to field and make you a professional football player, all from the comfort of your living room. All you have to do in order to join is head over to simulationfl.net. It's spelled out for you right there on the bottom of the ticker, and you can become a player. You can join our Discord server, which is just a glorified chat room. Say hello to everyone, and you can become a player on the field. You can go from couch to field, literally, Stephen, in under a week if you time it right.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got, I believe we've got 3 Week 2 signings here that are playing in their first game. This is their debut. Actually counting them up here, 3. So that could be you next week for one of these great SFL teams, and you could actually see yourself playing in the game.
Well, playing in the game tonight are the Mexico City Aztecs and the Baltimore Vultures. For any of you who are new, 20 teams comprise the Simulation Football League, scattered across the United States, Canada, and London, as well as tonight's team here in Mexico. They get the ball back to start the second half, and Matt Wilson will fire. Tipped up, nearly picked, and it is! Down the right-hand side, this one could go! 5-10, touchdown, Baltimore! Making his way to the end zone is Giovanni Bolt. He takes that baby and puts it right in the crib.
Well, like lightning, Bolt strikes again. This is his 3rd interception early into this season. He only had 1 pick all of last season, so he is on a career streak right now. And this ball simply tipped into the air. Actually, an opportunity for Mike Daggs, the tight end, to pull that ball in. Bounced up in the air twice. Bolt comes down with it, and the wherewithal and the speed to get in the end zone has really put the Aztecs in a difficult position.
Yeah, you talked about it, Stephen. Bolt really turning it on this season. In the week 1 game, Giovanni Bolt, 2 tackles, 1 pass deflection, and 2 interceptions. And he makes his 3rd interception of this short season. That's 3 in 2 games, takes that one to the house, and puts Baltimore up by 21.
Yeah, the way that he played in week 1, he just had a feeling there was going to be something different about Giovanni Bolt in his 5th season in the league, the 4th here with Baltimore. And I tell you what, with plays like that, he's going to be in that early MVP, defensive MVP discussion for sure.
Return coming out here for Mexico City. That looks like Jeffrey Daggs, who takes it to the 22. Bolt going to come right back out on defense, and the Baltimore Vultures now cushioning a 21-point lead.
Well, you know what? If I had to have my choice of SFL quarterbacks to be under center to try and get me back in this game, down 21 here in the 3rd quarter, Matt Wilson would be on the top of that list.
Wilson is going to start with Bentley off to the right. He's going to go right back to the air, finds Bentley off the right side with room. Bentley first down and spins into a tackle at the 35. Nice run by Bentley there to get Matt Wilson some yardage.
Yeah, and this is what made Bentley so lethal last season. You mentioned the 111 receptions. Didn't lead the SFL in receivings by running backs. He was actually 5th on that list, but he may have been the most effective. As he, had 731 yards and that SFL record 11 touchdowns through the air.
And there is a look at Giovanni Bolt, 1st and 10 here with 2 backs off to this right-hand side. 4 down linemen for Baltimore. Handoff Phoenix Jones. He's cut down in the backfield.
Yeah, that was nasty there. That the defense ready for that run. But we talked about Giovanni Bolt picking up the pace there. With his 3rd reception here in this game, really flipping this game on its head, extending this lead. And we see there the stats: 3 tackles, 1 pass defense, 2 interceptions there in his week 1 matchup against Seattle.
Hand off to Ray Bentley. Through one, somehow evaded the first tackle, and he goes down in the backfield. It'll be 3rd and 14. Nice job on the Baltimore side there by Chad Rowland.
And this defensive line starting to dominate a little bit here. I mean, this is just worst case scenario for Mexico City. Got an opportunity to try and get back into this game, and their offensive line is breaking down.
It'll be Wilson who's going to throw, tipped away. Baltimore has seen that play one too many times. Amon takes with a pass deflection, will bring up 4th down.
Yeah, using that play starts to become a crutch because you see so much success out of it, but there are times where it doesn't work. We've seen that tonight, and here just really Wilson almost like just a quick throw and catch as soon as he got the ball. Didn't give his receivers there, specifically his tight end, an opportunity to get open.
Takes the good deflection, will send it to 4th and 14 with 9 minutes to go. This Mexico City offense really needed a good drive there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Now they're relying on their defense to get a stop.
Baltimore able to get out of that drive. They will not come after the kicker. They will instead set up for a return, and Bolt will get them out to the 41. And with a 21-point lead, the Vultures retake the ball on offense. This is the Simulation Football League. You're watching either on 11 Sports or for the fans, and you can stay tuned. We'll be right back. Simulation Football League back in action here. Week 2 action. 9 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. You can head over and join the chat at twitch.tv/FTF next. Mike Dazzo will throw on first down out to T-Roy Gaines. Gaines is stood up and dropped a 6-yard pickup via the air. Could have been a lot more. He had blockers out in front.
Yeah, the tackle number 60, Mel Harrison, just had an opportunity there. Gaines had a convoy in front of him. If 60 Harrison gets that block, this score could have been extended right there on that one play.
Instead, it'll set up for 2nd and 4 from the 47. Dazzo, quick throw, catch made on the outside by Irvin. He, as a rookie, has just been getting better as each play goes on.
Yeah, and Mexico City, again, giving him so much respect, making it just really easy for Dazzo to find him on this little slant play. And it's just like they're in practice at this point. This is what Baltimore's doing here. Let's not understate it. To defeat a team like Mexico City at home and to have this much of a stranglehold on the game and be on the edge of scoring again is a major accomplishment.
Dazzo up over 200 yards tonight so far. They will give to T-Roy Gaines here. Gaines through a couple of tackles, will pick up 3, but it was a hard-earned 3.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Everything that's been in the middle for Baltimore as far as running the ball has been tough. And if we start to see that fail for this Aztec defense, this game is going to be over. So they need to keep doing what they're doing and some more here if Mexico's going to get back in this game.
2nd and 7. And Baltimore will give to Gaines again off this right-hand side. He had the room, just could not find the speed to get to the edge.
At 3rd and 5 here on Mexico City's 32. Now it's just important for Baltimore not to give up field goal range. They've got a great kicker in Shark Tarkenton. They cannot afford to take a loss here, a sack. They don't want to do that. They'll want to extend this lead. So something efficient and quick would be my guess.
From here, it would be a 48-yarder for Shark Tarkington. They will give to Gaines. Gaines able to pick up a couple of yards, but nothing more. Stopped by Daggs right before the first down marker.
And remember, Baltimore hasn't had much success in the middle, so running that ball is almost a caveat to say we don't want to lose yardage. We want to make this field goal attempt. If he gets a first down, great. If not, we're still in field goal range for Tarkington.
Baltimore 1 of 4 on 3rd down tonight. Tarkington 1 of 1 tonight. His long this season is 47. He will kick it here. It is on the way and good from 46, and Baltimore now up by 24 points, Stephen.
Wow. Yeah, it's going to take a monumental effort for Mexico City to get back into it. But again, let me remind you, this is a Mexico City offense that had not just the SFL MVP in Wilson, but the Offensive Player of the Year in Ray Bentley. So they have the weapons, surely, to get back into this game. It would be a record-setting performance, but not impossible.
Definitely have the weapons, and it could all start depending on this return. Fielded at the goal line. This is going to be brought out by Mac Gibbs. Gibbs is going to get to the 24 and brought down there. It looks, Stephen, with the injury to Montague, that they've almost been going by a return man by committee here.
Yeah, and there's, when you look back on this game for Mexico City, the impact of Montague's injury is going to be something they're going to wonder about. If his presence would have made a difference in this score right now, not only on the offense, but on special teams.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 2 backs in the backfield. They give to Phoenix Jones off the right-hand side. Jones with room. Phoenix Jones out across the 40, and he is going to get to the 47. What a carry for the rookie. They went off tackle, and he had room.
Well, let me tell you what, fullbacks are known for blocking, but here the fullback gets the benefit of excellent blocking by Mexico City.
Oh, man.
I believe it's Ray Bentley absolutely destroys a defender there at the line of scrimmage. That allows that limited speed, but speed of Phoenix Jones to get around the corner.
Well, if I know one thing about Ray Bentley, Stephen, he loves food, and right there, he better have got some syrup because that was a pancake. 1st and 10, they will give to Pancake Man. Bentley up the middle, and he is only able to get 2 yards. And in looking at Ray Bentley's numbers, looking at Phoenix Jones' numbers, 12 carries last week, only 31 yards, but did have that receiving touchdown, leads the team in carries.
Yeah, and we see the reason why, just as we mentioned, a terrific rookie debut for a fullback, and using him a lot here in this game.
They will toss it out to Ray Bentley on the outside, able to pick up a couple. And dare I say, Steven, that Phoenix Jones might be the most electric fullback in the Simulation Football League so far.
Yeah, I'm sure that there are a couple that would argue with you, but yeah, you know what? It's hard to argue with the numbers and the effectiveness that we've seen him use tonight. But, honestly, I'm surprised that Mexico City doesn't feel the pressure of throwing the ball more here in this game. They've been running it and looking towards the fullback and running back a little too much for my taste.
3 wide for Wilson. He's going to throw here. 3rd and 6. That is in and out of the hands of Mac Gibbs. Gibbs has been used quite a bit tonight in the return and the receiving game. He could not come up with the play.
And I hate to harp on it again, but don't forget, if Montague is in the game, that's not Gibbs in the lineup. That's Joe Clark Jr. So they've all had to shift positions and playing in positions they're not really familiar with. Trying to rely on a guy that's not normally relied on in that particular case cost them a first down.
Mexico City only completing 14% of their 3rd down attempts tonight. Giovanni Bolt out to the 25, and the 24-point lead for Baltimore is safe for now. We will step aside and be right back on 11 Sports, and for the fans, it's the Simulation Football League Baltimore against Mexico City. Baltimore regaining possession here in Mexico City. Andy Hamilton, along with Stephen Mullinex and Rochelle Colston, working here in Mexico City for tonight's game. A balmy 70 degrees with 18-mile-per-hour winds here in Mexico. It's a beautiful night. Mike Dazzo to throw. He's going to take a beautiful shot, and it's picked off. Jeffrey Daggs down the middle of the field. He's got return lane ability, and he's down to the 29, and that just might be the spark that the Aztecs needed, Steven.
Absolutely. You're right, Andy. This is exactly what Mexico City needed, and they get it from a guy who racked up 8 interceptions last season. Jeffrey Daggs, a stellar defender and a stellar returner, had 3 kickoff returns for touchdowns last season. We see some of that return ability illustrated there after that pick.
The first interception of the season, not only for Jeffrey Daggs, but for the Mexico City Aztecs, Steven. Last week, without an interception on the defensive side, Daggs has the first of the season for them, and that is a big one. Handoff here to Bentley. He's going to lose 3 yards, and this Baltimore defense has been stellar tonight, but throughout the season as well.
Yeah, and you know what? They've had one of the they've always had here 4 seasons. They've had a top scoring defense in the SFL, ranking all the way up to 2nd there in season 2. Coming into today's game, limiting Seattle to 6 points. They are the number 1 scoring defense here in the SFL through week 2.
Back out on the field, they're trying to keep Mexico City out of the end zone. Firing, it's Daggs with a catch to the 12. The Daggs family is littered around the Mexico City Aztecs, and they're making catches down to the 12.
Well, if they're going to come back into this game, it's going to involve someone named Daggs at some point, whether it's the linebacker, the safety, or the tight end here. Wilson, his most reliable target, and trusting him to go up in the air and get it. We saw a similar play where Daggs dropped the ball earlier in this game. Here he brings it down at a critical point in the 3rd quarter.
This formation features both Phoenix Jones and Ray Bentley, just a question of who might get it. Wilson to throw, will toss it out to Bentley. Can't keep the footing. The throw was a little bit in front of Ray Bentley, and they'll lose a yard.
Yeah, this is the play where they send both of their running backs, the fullback and the running back, out in the flats. And this was just an opportunity where they were on the wrong hash mark to get the ball to Bentley, and he just ran out of room.
And it will move them back to the 13-yard line. They really, Steven, could use a touchdown on this drive to capitalize off that field position and the turnover. Hand off to Phoenix Jones. Jones off the right side. Jones threw a man. Phoenix Jones, touchdown, Mexico City. And that's his first rushing touchdown of his career.
Wow, you're going to need that kind of effort from somebody on this offense. We see Jeffrey Daggs put them in great field position. Phoenix Jones, the newest player on this team, the first-round pick, has injected a little excitement and a little energy into what has been a stale offense for Mexico so far.
This game might not be over, folks. Call your friends who left and get them back here because Mexico City cuts into the lead with a big touchdown, and they convert the Jeffrey Daggs interception into points. Cole Varner on to try and add the extra point to make it just a 17-point game. He does so. 10-27, Mexico City not out of it yet. 3:27 to go here in the third. It's the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and For the Fans. Estadio Azteca, the site of tonight's game, Simulation Football League Week 2 action. Andy Hamilton and Stephen Mullinex, Cameron Irvine behind the ones and twos, and Rochelle Colston on stats. Bolt is going to bring this one out for Baltimore. Giovanni Bolt only out to the 20. Might as well have taken a knee in the end zone. Last time Baltimore's offense was out, Mike Dazzo threw it right into the hands of Mexico City's Jeffrey Daggs. And, what do you think, Steven? Do you kind of trust Gaines a little bit more here with this 17-point lead, or do you trust Dazzo, the veteran, to go back to the air?
Yeah, I don't think that at this point in the third quarter that they're going to stop doing what has been successful for them has been, throwing the ball through the air. I think they'll continue.
Dazzo looking to throw, fires down the middle, incomplete. Jeffrey Daggs had the best look at it, but Han Tayumi broke it up. A dangerous ball.
Yeah, really dangerous. And look, we talked about how efficient Mike Dazzo is. Again, led the league with over 77% of completion percentage last season, but he will also turn the ball over. Surely that's something the Aztecs are hoping for here again.
Beautiful SFL ticker at the bottom of your screen. Jamal Wooding leading all receivers in yards with 174 from the tight end position. Here is Dazzo to throw out to T-Roy Gaines on the outside, stood up and dropped. And I tell you what, this defense looks a little bit more energized after the Jeffrey Daggs interception.
Yeah, in that particular case, Han Tayumi, you just see the jets on that guy and pursuing the ball, actually read it really well. Was playing back and actually able to get back from his deep zone and pursue the ball to cause that to be just a 1-yard gain.
It's going to set up a 3rd and 9 here. Bunch formation. We've seen them run the out of this formation. 3-2 look out of Mexico City. Quick throw down the field. Oh, nearly picked off. It falls incomplete. Fran Ogawa had a chance at it, and that was a very lofty throw that almost was picked off again.
Yeah, great, again, individual effort. We've seen some great individual effort from Fran Ogawa to knock some balls down here. But in that particular case, they had trips to the left, Baltimore did. And in that situation, that's usually used to confuse the defense there. The receivers kind of ran into themselves, causing those routes to go dead and forcing the ball to the other side of the field.
Jack Wigmore on to kick it away. Mexico City has a man back to return. The question is who? Return here coming. Shifty move, and that is going to be first and 10 at the 46. Mac Gibbs on the return with the injury, if you're just tuning in, to Ray Montague out for tonight's game. Gibbs and Jeffrey Daggs have kind of been sharing the special teams return ability, and I tell you what, with Daggs on the interception return, it might be a little winded.
Well, and we're feeling they might be winning, but we're feeling the momentum shift here. Getting a
Absolutely.
3 and out on defense is huge for Mexico City.
The Rick meter, as Rick Northrup would say, is leaning a little bit more towards the middle. Matt Wilson wants the fireball deep. He's got it! Touchdown! Swaddle that baby in a cloth and take it to the crib. Touchdown, Mexico City. KL Barrett cuts into the lead again.
Andy, we've seen the Aztecs run this play before. Previous series, it's the play where they go to Ray Bentley there in the flats. But here, KL Barrett just simply on a go route, able to outrun Thornberry. And boy, not known again for his speed, showing some unusual jets in this game. And Barrett into the end zone. Wow, what a way to get back into this game.
Call your mother, call your grandma. We got a shootout on our hands. And at halftime, it looked like Mexico City might be in trouble, and they have fought back with the potential here after this extra point to cut it to a 10-point lead. Varner's kick is up and good, and the difference is just a mere 10 points between Baltimore and Mexico City. It was 27-3 at the half.
Well, if you're the Vultures, you're not in panic mode, but you're certainly worried. Seeing these back-to-back touchdowns suddenly from this offense, really spurred by great defensive play. I think you continue to put your trust in Dazzle, but like we mentioned, maybe you look T-Roy Gaines' way a little bit more to run some of this clock.
Giovanni Bolt on the return will only get out to the 21, and this is the point, if you're Baltimore, Steven, that your back starts to sweat a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit on their heels here momentum-wise, but still a 10-point lead, and they showed such dominance in the first half. You got to believe they can achieve it again.
Cole Varner in the chat has made it to the game. Cole, hello, how are you? Plenty of people in the chat really liking seeing Mexico City get back into this game. Plenty for Baltimore getting a little nervous. Out route there, they're going to call him inbounds. Daley Holder with a good catch on the sideline.
And I like the play call. We've seen those short outs be really successful, especially in yards after catch, converting some first downs actually in this game. But what it does, it just kind of calms everyone down. Although if you're a veteran like Dazzle, probably been in this situation thousands of times before, don't necessarily need to be calmed down. But something simple, something easy on first down, just to calm the entire offense down.
Two tight ends set out of Baltimore. T-Roy Gaines will flare out into the flat. Dazzo taking a deep shot. Caught! Down the right sideline is Daley Holder. Daley Holder will not get to the end zone, though. He's brought down at the 26. A touchdown-saving tackle is made by Pablo Zamora, but Baltimore swings that Rick meter right back in their favor.
Well, we've seen Baltimore use that play to great success already in the game. They found something there in the Aztec secondary, and these receivers are doing a really good job of just getting in between the zones of these Mexico City secondary defenders and giving huge windows and being wide open here for Dazzle.
Yeah, it looks like the cornerbacks have stayed down a little bit to try and cover T-Roy Gaines in that flat. They do so again right there. Daley Holder makes the catch underneath, only able to pick up 3. From here, it would be about a 39-yard field goal if they didn't gain another foot.
And that previous play is exactly the reason. Just can't put your foot on the gas, especially in the third quarter, no matter what the score is or the situation is, because you know that the offense across the field from you is so lethal, they can get back into the game quickly.
Two wide receivers to the top of the screen, Lloyd Graham Jr. to the bottom. Dazzo throwing on the out route, caught, and Irvin is going to go out of bounds at the 18. It's going to set up a 3rd and 3. Mexico City a chance to get off the field here.
Yeah, and I think that this is how Baltimore kind of lulls you into a sense of security. Those little outs and those runs make you think that they're playing conservatively, and then all of a sudden they bomb it on you.
Baltimore 1 of 5 on third down, trying to make it 2 of 6. Dazzo out route caught. Did he get the first down? Yes. Feet were inbounds from Irvin. He was falling backwards, but they're going to mark him good enough to the 15.
Yeah, that might be close enough for a challenge. It doesn't look like they're going to do so, but it looked to me, Andy, like it was right there on. Uh, could go either way there, but definitely the receiver fading back across the line back towards his own offense didn't help.
Yeah, I know one thing about out-of-bounds lines in this stadium here, Steven, and I'm not challenging anything here. T-Roy Gaines up the middle will pick up 8 to the 7-yard line as time just falls off the clock here in the third quarter.
And that might be his most successful run in the middle of the field, and that just kind of shows you, I think this interior of the Aztecs defensive line starting to get tired. That fatigue is going to play a part in this game. Big second down and 2 here.
Gains up to 4.8 yards per carry, 76 yards so far tonight. They will flip it out to him in the pass game. Gaines dropped in the backfield. What a tackle there by Tony Stack.
Yeah, and the center had an opportunity there to Robert Clayton there to try to get a block, and he just kind of let the defender go.
That will take us to the end of the third. We will flip ends of the field. Still a 10-point difference. Mexico City trying to make a stand. The Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and For the Fans will be right back. Get your fours up in the chat. Third and 4 here from Mexico City. 11 minutes on the clock in the fourth. The Aztecs have gone on a run, and they are trying to keep Baltimore from extending the lead too much. They need 4 yards to move the chains. Here is Dazzo. Short drop, quick throw, and it's dropped. Incomplete. Do you know how to say no in Spanish, Steven? It's no.
See, I believe you are correct, sir. Yes. What a great opportunity here for now Mexico City. A great stand on third down, forcing a field goal attempt here by Baltimore, keeping this, regardless if he makes it or not, a 2-score game.
Shark Tarkington will line up. From here, it'll be a 25-yard field goal chip shot attempt right at the opening here of this fourth quarter. Snap is good, hold is good, and the kick from 25 yards is true. 30-17, Baltimore on top.
Now for the Aztecs, they've benefited from great field position on their previous two drives that ended up to be touchdowns. So here, unless they get a big return here, they're going to have their average field position. And can they drive it down the field to get a touchdown will be the question.
It could all start here with this return. Kick on the way. With 10:54, the return will be brought out by Mac Gibbs out across to the 23. And with 10:50, Matt Wilson will lead the offense back.
We'll never underestimate the power of momentum. It's certainly on the Aztec side here. Let's see if Matt Wilson, Ray Bentley, and KL Barrett, who came across with a huge touchdown on the previous series, if they can come through once again.
Oh, and there's something to be said, Stephen, about having that home team crowd behind you, excited about turning the tide potentially. Here is Wilson on a 5-step drop, will fire, caught Mike Daggs, and Matt Wilson put that one. I mean, he could have thrown that one through a tire in the backyard.
Yeah, that was an absolute rope, and there didn't rely on Daggs' height, his 6'7" height. Instead, they're just delivering the ball in a perfect spot for his tight end with the great hands.
Yeah, Baltimore had a great offensive drive last time out, but it really felt like a win for Mexico City to hold them to 3. Now the Aztecs back out on offense. Only 2 wide receivers out. They give to Ray Bentley. Oh, Bentley shouldered by Amon Takes. Only gets a yard. They have held Ray Bentley in check.
Well, you can feel the frustration in that hit. You know, Baltimore a little embarrassed here to allow Mexico City to score on them after limiting this team to just 3 points. So you can feel that frustration come through that hit. I'm sure that's not the last hard hit we'll see in this game.
Shotgun look on 2nd and 9. Flip out to Ray Bentley on the outside. Bentley able to pick up another 4. It'll make it 3rd and 5. Very manageable.
Yeah, and actually Mexico City did more of that last season using Ray Bentley as a receiving weapon. But here it does what it needs to do. It puts them in a manageable 3rd down and 5. I'm not sure if we're in 4-down territory yet or not, but we'll see.
4 wide, 90 all slants has worked 2 out of 3 times from this formation in my memory. They will run it again. Quick throw to Daggs, tipped up and incomplete. Jinx from me will make it 4th and 5.
Well, not just jinx from you, but Amon Takes with excellent coverage, able to really get into the path of Daggs and knock that ball away without committing a pass interference. A very bang play. Wouldn't be surprised if the flag got thrown, but weren't, and you just got to give that to Takes with perfect timing.
4th and 5, Stephen, with 9:21 left. They'd choose to punt. Would you have gone for that?
I probably would have it field, but I'm not the one that has to suffer the consequences if they fail.
Keiko barely gets it away on the punt. Sorry to cut you off there a little bit, Steven. And Baltimore will only come out to the 23. Mexico City was able to hold them to 3 on the last drive, but really, time is your issue here. Baltimore so far tonight has taken a lot of the time off the clock.
Right, and even though they only scored a field goal there in the last series, they did drive the ball down the field, so showing more of the signs that we saw there in the first half with them just doing anything they really wanted to, even running with success down the middle.
2 backs in the backfield. Dazzo going to change the play at the line. He will throw. Short drop. Going to throw to the outside. Oh, my gosh, Steven. I would have lost my mind. Fran Ogawa would have had an open lane to the end zone had he been able to wrap both hands around that one.
Well, you mentioned the Aztecs cornerbacks playing up, trying to stop T-Roy Gaines there in the passing game, the running back. But they're also been attuned to these little deep outs. And there, Fran Ogawa nearly got that one, could have taken it to the house.
2nd and 10 with 9 minutes to go in the 4th. 4 wide for Dazzo, alone in the shotgun. Dazzo going to throw. Fires to this near side, and it is caught. And that will bring up a 3rd and 4. Ivory Irvin, his 9th reception tonight.
Well, that was that all slants play again out of the gun straight. But Dazzo, recognizing the cushion they're giving to Irving once again, just calls for that little short out. Let's get the 6 yards. Let's make this a manageable 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4 in the shotgun. cornerbacks playing off for Mexico City. Looks like a 3-deep look. Dazo gonna throw, fires, open man, Irvin, first down to the 46. Nice throw and catch. The cornerback over there came on a blitz.
Yeah, Irvin has been money tonight. Him and Dazo just have a great chemistry, something you don't expect from a guy playing in his first professional SFL game, but from couch to field, this guy has been awesome tonight.
You can go from couch to field as well, wherever you're watching from. All you have to do is head over to simulationfl.net and join our Discord server. Hand off to T-Roy Gaines. Gaines with room. Gaines with blockers in front. He's out to the 33. What a run. The best of the night from T-Roy Gaines.
And honestly, that might be the death knell in this game. If they can figure out that Gaines has been running way better on the outside and put together more of these kinds of runs, it will salt away this game and take away chances from the Aztecs of trying to get back in it.
Yeah, Mexico City really would need another turnover here if the drive continues. That would really be the only way to get back in this game with just the sheer amount of time Baltimore has been taking off the clock with their drives. One in the backfield, 3 down linemen for Mexico City. Out route here, Irvin is inbounds. They'll give him the catch for 4, but that was close.
Yeah, if you're Mexico City's defense, you got to clamp down here. You're already in field goal range, but it's still, even if they make the field goal, it's a 2-point game. Challenge.
I was going to say, Ramos Lynn, it was on his sideline, had a really good look at it right there. I thought maybe on the last drive, a couple drives ago, the catch where they were falling backwards would have been a better one to challenge, but they'll challenge this one. Steven?
Yeah, really, I think he's out, but you just never know. The angles that we get on these, sometimes it's just hard to tell.
Ref 62 in Mexico City will go away from the Aztecs. Wow. Baltimore is going to win that challenge. Mexico City will lose a timeout. Yeah. And, wow, I was going to say, Steven, maybe that's a case where you're telling Irvin to wear white shoes next week so you can't tell whether he's in or out. The red shoes kind of showed off that he was out of bounds, but then again, I am not the referee. I don't make the calls.
Well, I think calling that challenge was a mistake, and there's another.
Offsides will give Baltimore a free play. Irvin makes the catch and is brought down inbounds, so the clock would have rolled, but with the penalty, it should be a first down.
At this point in the game, your timeouts are just going to be so much more precious than a 5-yard challenge. I would have just given that to Baltimore, saved my timeout, because you just never know what kind of position you're going to be at the end of this game. You've seen your offense here in the second half actually come to life. There's an opportunity there, and I think just having that third timeout could make the difference.
Well, and especially on first down, Steven. The other one that we thought could have been challenged was on third down and would have turned into a fourth down. I believe they scored a touchdown on that drive, if my memory serves. Dazo, short drop, quick throw, caught by Holder. That one was inbounds to the 19. It's a first down, and Mike Dazo surpasses 300 yards.
Well, this offense is just killing this Mexico City Aztecs defense with the small little paper cuts. It's a little deep out here. It's a little deep out there. And before you know it, they're on the 19. They're in the red zone threatening to score again.
It is still a 13-point lead. Still one possession. Mexico City not dead in the water yet. Dazo out route here to T-Roy Gaines. Blocker in front. Gaines has the first down, yardage to the 8. Jeffrey Daggs on the tackle.
Well, that's exactly why you want to get Gaines on the outside on some of these secondary players. He just is built so big. He's just a massive load. And when he comes at someone like Jeffrey Daggs, he's going to get the edge and get over that first down marker. So it's going to get you extra yards as well. Has an opportunity to maybe truck a defender, maybe even a secondary player, and get in the end zone.
It's going to be a weak eye formation. 3-4 look out of the Mexico City Aztecs. Offsides again. Dazo, free play, fires to the end zone, tipped up, nearly picked off. 2 Aztecs had their hands on it. It wouldn't have mattered with the free play, but still a dangerous throw.
Well, we've seen 3 mental mistakes here on this drive that's just really killing Mexico City here at home. We saw the challenge play that probably shouldn't have been challenged. And we've seen 2 offside penalties here. So they're not doing themselves any favors to get back into this game.
Tyler Kane was the offender there for the Aztecs, and it's going to push Baltimore right up against this end zone here of the Aztecs. Really, for the defense coming down here to the wire, trying to make a stop. Goal line look out of the Aztecs. Dazzo under center with Gaines in the backfield. Handoff to T-Roy Gaines, and he is dropped. Not going to have the end zone there.
Yeah, and as we always talk about, these defenses, they compress as you get back to that end zone, harder to score. And we've seen Mexico City be stout in the middle. We thought the fatigue might get to them, but they hold up good there on that first down try.
These heavy formations is what Baltimore likes to throw their screen pass out of. Instead, they go to the fullback, and Mexico City was prepared for that one. T-Roy Gaines, though, was open in the flat over there.
Well, with just over 5 minutes left in this game, you want to run the clock. Mexico City knows you want to run the clock, so they're keyed up for the run.
Stephen, a field goal here would keep it just barely at a 2-possession game. It would be a 16-point difference. So, important play here on 3rd and goal. Floater back in the end zone. No! He is out of bounds. They tried to float it, and I give him credit, Stephen. That was a great play call. He was open.
He was absolutely open. Just lack of positional awareness. Bounds line back of the end zone was. We see a lot of receivers and tight ends like to tap their feet before they get to that out-of-bounds marker, but just didn't realize exactly where he was looking at the ball the entire time, and it led him out of bounds.
So Shark Tarkington will come on to try and make it a 16-point lead. It is a chip shot here, and he will kick it. It is on the way and good from 19 yards, 33-17. Baltimore on top. Mexico City not dead. Another stand from the defense. And the Aztecs will get the ball back when we return. It's the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and for the fans. Baltimore has the ball on the tee. They have a 16-point lead. Mexico City not out of it just yet. Kick here from Tarkington will go the distance, and they are going to bring it out on the return. Matt Gibbs makes a move and will get to the 21-yard line. Well, Stephen, you never really can count Matt Wilson out.
Yeah, absolutely not, especially with the weapons that he has on the field. I expect to see a lot of K.L. Barrett and especially Mike Daggs, the tight end. Look for him down the middle of the field, and K.L. Barrett trying to maybe stretch this defense, maybe see if he can strike for another one of those long bombs.
5:11 to go here in the fourth. Mexico City only 2 timeouts, so they, on defense, would need a stop or an incompletion to stop the clock here if they cannot get the ball back. Quick throw caught by Barrett. First down to the 34. Steven, would you go hurry up here?
I probably would, based on that play really working well there. The reason why it did work well is Wilson had time in the pocket to throw. Actually allowed his receivers to get past the first down marker. He is wanting to stretch this field. He's wanting to gain a lot of ground quickly.
It's going to set up here. 1st and 10 at the 34. Nearly 10, 11, 12. Time coming off this clock for Mexico City. They figure this is an important drive, and they might try the onside. Wilson is going to dump it off to Phoenix Jones on the outside. Jones with room has the first down to the 45, and that will enact the hurry up.
Yeah, what a terrific luxury to have someone like that, Phoenix Jones, out there in the flats to throw to when everyone else is covered.
Shotgun look again for Wilson. Baltimore has 4 guys right at the line. They are stacking the box. They will only bring 4. Wilson throws to Daggs. First down across the 50 to the 43, now into Baltimore territory.
Daggs absolutely lethal in the middle of the field. Look for him to do that again.
Wilson takes the snap, is going to stand in the pocket, floats this near side, caught, and K.L. Barrett out of bounds. Wow, I thought Thornberry might have hit him late, but no marker down.
Well, this Aztecs offense is humming. You can just feel it. They have, they're not running the football here. They're just putting it all on the arm of Matt Wilson, and he's going dot down the field.
Yeah, and the former MVP and one of the better quarterbacks in the SFL is trying to keep his team alive here late. Pro formation, Wilson under center will throw. He's going to dump it out to Ray Bentley. Bentley feet inbounds. Oh, they are not going to give him the first down. I don't know about that one, Steven. I don't know if I would challenge. The timeouts are important, but I thought he got it.
Yeah, I wouldn't challenge. It just depends on which arm the ball was in when he was on there. Challenge, but you know what? Like we said, we think it's a good one, so they may be able to keep that timeout.
That's true. That's true. If they do get it, they will keep the timeout. But again, another out-of-bounds challenge here late in this game. Let's take a look at it here on the sidelines. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in front of the marker. He's got the feet down in bounds. I think that's a good challenge.
Yeah, it is right on the line there for me too. But
let's see, and it will be an overturn. Mexico City keeps the timeout and has the first down. And Ref 62, I don't know, Steven, if it was a makeup call or if they are just calling it as they got it, but it's a first down for Mexico City either way.
I think it's a good call to correct a mistake, but Mexico City certainly risking the biscuit there to try and make that first down happen.
Hey, I'm not a big fan of biscuits. I am a fan of brisket, and my friend once told me, you got to risk it for the brisket. 90 all slants. Oh, how is that not pass interference, Steven? I don't believe that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Really interfered with the receiver's route there, and you can make a case maybe that they're both going for the football, but that's just a missed call. But luckily, this is 4-down territory, and Mexico City, outside of that, seems to be really running this offense to perfection.
4 wide again here. Dags to the bottom of the formation. 3-2 look out of Baltimore. They're going to run the same play again. Floater across the middle. K.L. Barrett, no! Dived, but could not hold on as he hit the ground.
Well, an A-plus effort and an F for holding on to the ball. But, again, this is where their own failings here have hurt them so much. And especially we saw on defense with all those calls and now a drop ball here in a critical situation.
3rd and 10. They need the 23 in order to keep this drive alive. They're going 4 wide again. Baltimore again in the bump formation. 3-2 look out of the defense. Evading the bump. Wilson's going to throw to Barrett. No, picked off. Baltimore pretty much puts a cap on it with that one. Hendricks, Thornberry takes it away.
Well, it was a case by Mexico City that you've seen this formation. You know where we're running. With this all slants play, can you stop it? Baltimore can, and they do, and they likely won this game because of it.
Yeah, they had seen that play enough times tonight to know where Matt Wilson was going. I mean, that was the 3rd time they ran that play in a row, Steven.
Yeah, too many times putting your hands in the cookie jar, for sure.
I formation here, 3:45. Mexico City can only stop the clock twice. T-Roy Gaines is going to pick up 4, and Mexico City not using those timeouts just yet.
Yeah, and that's Baltimore should be able to get to the 2-minute warning or really close to it, and down 2 scores. Mexico City is going to have to do something that they haven't done really all game, which is to score very quickly without the benefit of great field position.
2 backs in the backfield. We have seen Baltimore give the ball a couple times to Teddy Mitchell, the fullback. Could be a factor here. 3-4 look again out of the Mexico City Aztecs. They do give to Mitchell. Mitchell right up the middle is close, but is going to be an inch short of the first down.
Yeah, wonderful play call there by you, Andy. Yeah, that recognizing that that fullback was going to make that run. If I am trusting someone to seal this game, it's T-Roy Gaines. But if I know that, I know the Mexico City defense knows that. So an opportunity to play a little trickery here by Baltimore nearing the first down marker.
They need an inch in order to move the chains. Mexico City selling out, has 8 in the box. I formation. Dazzo going to let all the clock come off that he can. He's going to snap it here with 2. Handoff Gaines up the middle. Gaines has the first down, and Baltimore moves the chains at the 36.
Well, for the Aztecs, at least they know they're going to get a stop in the clock at the 2-minute warning, and so that gives them basically a free timeout. But a fresh set of downs for Baltimore pretty much seals this one.
And that is going to take us to the 2-minute warning. Baltimore in control of this one. A 16-point lead here from Mexico City. It's the Simulation Football League. Week 2 action continues when we get back from break. Baltimore and Mexico City. (33-17) the score here with 2 minutes to play. Mexico City, Andy Hamilton along with Stephen Mullinex on the call. On league action, Baltimore 2 minutes away from going 2-0 to start season 14. Dazzle going to throw on first down out to T. Roy Gaines. Gaines steps out of bounds and stops the clock here despite getting 6.
Yeah, mental gaffe there by Gaines, but one that's not really going to cost this team anything. 2nd and 4, and up by 2 scores. They've pretty much got this one. If they can convert this first down, they'll get into that victory formation.
Minute 56 to go. The backup's actually in for Baltimore. Adam Jefferson is the quarterback, and he is going to hand it off this right-hand side. That tackle is made on Damon Morehouse, and Mexico City will use a timeout. Steven, a bit premature for the backups, do you think?
No, I don't think so. I think that it's just a matter of let's save our guys for next week. We know we have this game in hand. Even if we give Mexico City the ball back, we can put our starters back in if we need to, but I think they pretty much think this game is out of hand.
Morehouse again, the lone back. They will throw. They're going to dump it out to Morehouse with room. Tyler Kane makes the tackle, and it'll be 4th and 2. Tyler Kane might have just kept this game alive for Mexico City. It's a minute 48. They have no timeouts, but a quick score might keep Mexico City alive.
Yeah, a sliver of hope here if you're a fan of the Aztecs, at least to put some more points on the board, maybe stuff the stat sheet a little bit. But a quick score and an onside kick suddenly makes this game interesting again.
Don't forget the 2-point conversions. They need those as well.
Yes.
In order to get back into it. Punt on the way, and there Matt Gibbs will only bring it out to the 20, so 80 yards stand between Matt Wilson and a score.
And we saw this offense on the previous series dot themselves down the field until they turned the ball over, which was likely the death knell in this game. But certainly the resurgence by Mexico City here in the second half has been wonderful to see and something to build on for an Aztecs team that really dominated in their Week 1 performance against Vegas.
4 receivers wide for Matt Wilson alone in the shotgun. 3-2 look out of Baltimore. Wilson going to throw, fires. That one is complete. Stretching, but cannot get the first down there is Francisco Gonzalez. Wilson to throw again, fires to Daggs, caught, first down to the 36. They're going to line up and potentially run this 90 all slants again. The question is, do they have enough time to get all the way down the field using the same play? Wilson throws, that is caught. They're down to the 45.
And I'm not sure Gibbs was even the target on that play.
No, it looks like he might have been trying to get it to Barrett. Wilson throws again. That one's picked off by Baltimore. What a way to end it. Marvin Johnstone is there, and that will just about do it.
Yeah, and that was an absolute case of a non-call pass interference. Dags got interfered with in his run route by number 51, the linebacker. Actually held him up on the route. That's why the ball looked like it was going to someone that wasn't there.
And Baltimore takes over, and they will improve to 2-0. Mexico City will fall to 1-1 early in this season 14.
Yeah, and you know what? I think it makes the Baltimore Vultures the absolute team to beat here in the SFL. I'd be surprised if they're not number one in the power rankings after impressive victories both over Seattle and now Mexico City in Mexico City, which is just something that didn't happen at all actually last season. Aztecs were perfect 6-0 in this stadium in the regular season. So an impressive victory that I think just is a warning post to anyone who has to face Baltimore. You're facing the toughest team here in the SFL.
Baltimore will get to head to Denver next. They are going to head north to face the Denver Nightwings, who are 0-2. Mexico City is going to head to Atlanta to the Hive to play the Atlanta Swarm next week. So for Mexico City, gets a little bit more difficult. For Baltimore, potentially gets a little bit easier, although, Steven, it never is easy when you're facing the defending champion.
Yeah, you're right about that. But, you know, after seeing this victory here, a road game for Baltimore, you got to be confident that they feel they can go into anyone's stadium and pull out a victory.
Well, the injury to Richard Montague sets Mexico City back to start this one off. And, Steven, we can only speculate about how that might have affected the game. But when you look there, very pass-heavy for Mexico City, despite their touchdowns coming from Phoenix Jones and, you know, some of those characters.
Yeah, and a lot of that is because they like to utilize their running back, fullback in the passing game, and that they were forced to really pass the ball to try to get back into this ball game after Baltimore dominated in that first half, and especially on defense. Let's give Baltimore's defense a lot of credit, holding a very powerful, high-powered Mexico City offense to only 3 points there in the first half. Really put the screws down on the Aztecs, and although Mexico City was able to get back into the game in the second half, it just wasn't enough, and that momentum just couldn't carry them far enough to get past what Baltimore was able to do offensively.
Well, coming up next, right here on 11 Sports and for the fans, it's going to be a battle of the most southern contiguous state in the United States. It is a battle between Jacksonville heading to Florida to take on the Florida Storm. Michael Torillo and Eddie Gage have the call here starting at 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time, 6 o'clock Pacific. Don't miss it. That game should be incredible. And we had quite an incredible game tonight from the number 1 and number 3 teams in the power rankings. Steven, if you had to pick a player of the game, who would it be?
Wow. Yeah, you know, I think I'm going to go with the easy choice for me, which is just Mike Dazzo. Feel like his precision in the game on some of his passes really made the difference, and the chemistry that he was able to have with a week 2 signing in Irvin to you know, find success with him early and often was really impressive. Something we don't see a lot of. Again, we mentioned going from couch to field. Irvin absolutely doing that and making a big difference here. Give me Dazzo.
Well, and I think on the defensive side, you could talk about Giovanni Bolt a little bit too. That pick 6 return for a touchdown, big for Baltimore. Especially when you talk about, you know, a 16-point win. You take those 7 off the board, and these last couple drives for Mexico might have looked a little bit different. So big stuff from Bolt as well to, you know, really extend Baltimore's lead.
Yeah, I would agree. You got to give some consideration to the wide receiver core here. Daley Holder had a couple catches, but in the end, it's Mike Dazzo. 327 yards, 2 touchdowns through the air. 32 of 41, did have 1 pick, but that 106 QB rating, can't be beat.
That's all for us here from Mexico City. Andy Hamilton, along with Stephen Mullex, Cameron Irvine, and Rochelle Colston behind the scenes, keeping us honest. This has been Week 2 action. Stay tuned. More coming up at 9 o'clock Eastern right here on 11 Sports and For the Fan.